Welcome, YouTube subscribers, to the wonderful world of books, one of 7 worlds in 7 World Productions, a division of Angelgram Music. This series is devoted to excerpts from In Search of Beauty, an autobiographical memoir by yours truly, Geno Galantay. When I first contemplated writing down my life history, I couldn't decide whether to call it an autobiography or a memoir. Wikipedia defines autobiography as a book about the life of a person, written by that person, based entirely on that person's memory. A memoir is defined as a literary genre forming a subclass of autobiography based solely on the author's memory of events. Whereas a memoir is more subjective, an autobiography is more objective. I felt that my literary work would be both, and hence the subtitle, an autobiographical memoir. The title, In Search of Beauty, came to me as I was writing, and noted that a good portion of my life was dedicated to the act of searching for beauty, first as a child, then as an adolescent, followed by young adulthood, middle-aged adulthood, and finally mature adulthood. I realized that all of us are searching for beauty in our lives. During the 1980s and 1990s, I had the honor of being the choral director for the Miss Universe, Miss USA, Miss Teen USA pageants. Now, in this episode, I'm going to share with you a lesson in courage. In April 1990, we gathered at the Schubert Theater in Los Angeles for the 30th Miss Universe pageant to be aired on May 13th. It was unfortunate that sometimes we could not hold the Universe pageant in a foreign country. However, I did not mind Los Angeles. It gave me an opportunity to stay in Southern California in the spring and spend time with friends during rehearsals. Some new changes were made to this year's pageant. First, for the Little Sisters serenading in the evening gown competition, I had to audition over 500 young ladies and choose only 100 for the telecast. Because I was the choral director, I had them all sing a little of America the Beautiful and asked them to curtsy, which are 2 requirements of the Little Sisters, singing and curtsying. And because the Little Sisters were American, they tended to be more flamboyant and forward in their behavior during rehearsals. They learned their part very quickly, and I was challenged to keep them interested during rehearsals. They were fun to work with and kept me on my toes. They were quick to criticize each other when mistakes were made, but equally praising each other when being correct. If ever there was an argument made to believe in divine intervention, this particular year's Little Sisters definitely qualified. The night of the live telecast, the Little Sisters were congregated together in a large ballroom at the adjacent hotel to the theater to don their attire for the telecast. Pete Menefee, the costume designer that year, had come up with black and white polka-dotted Shirley Temple dresses. Pete started his career in show business in 1963 as a dancer-actor on Broadway in Bye Bye Birdie. In 1968 and 1969, he danced for Anne Margaret on her TV show. In the 70s, he danced for Barry Manilow and Shirley MacLaine. He became costume designer for the Brady Bunch Hour on TV and continued to design costumes for the annual Emmy Award telecasts in the 80s. He designed costumes for the Circus of the Stars, the People's Choice Awards, the Miss USA, Miss Universe, and Miss Teen USA pageants in the 80s and 90s. And additionally, in 2006, he was the costume designer for the 29th Winter Olympics opening ceremony. The Shirley Temple dresses looked fabulous on camera, and I knew that once again the Little Sisters would play a key role in the competition for the crown. The young ladies were getting into their costumes 1 hour before the live telecast, and I was on hand outside the ballroom for any last-minute emergencies. I was dressed in my usual attire, black tie and tuxedo. One of the youngest members of the Little Sisters, representing Miss Norway, came out of the ballroom and came to me with a forlorn and sad face. I asked her what was wrong, and she said that she was afraid her mother was going to die. I was mortified to hear a 4-year-old girl having such an awful time when she was in such a momentous event in her life. I could not believe such a little girl could truly understand about life and death, but I was in for an epiphany of a lifetime. I took her hand and guided her to a wall in the hallway just outside the ballroom, and together we sat down side by side on the floor. I quietly asked her why she thought her mother was going to die. She said, "They took her to the hospital today, and tomorrow morning they are going to operate." The tone of her voice and the look on her face showed so much fear that for a long moment I did not know what to do or say. She quickly said further, "I want to go to her now and help her so she won't die." My brain went into overdrive as I pondered the substitution of this little girl. I would have to use one of the alternate little sisters that I always had in the group for just such an occasion. You see, I was told an hour before telecast the top 10 finalists' names so I could concentrate on the 10 equivalent little sisters with a quick brush-up rehearsal in one of the ballrooms close to the dressing rooms. Miss Norway was one of them. But something told me not to panic. I just sat there quietly, placed my arm around her little shoulder, and then within minutes the miracle of divine intervention occurred. As we sat there, the other little sisters came out of the ballroom fully dressed in their Shirley Temple dresses, and quietly, without a single word spoken, sat down on the floor all around us. They tried to get as close to this one little sister and me as possible. It was as if they were true angels and wanted to console one of their own. I recall having to stifle tears in my eyes for fear of upsetting all of them. We sat there for a good 30 minutes, with about 50 little sisters sitting as quietly as a mouse, as if the entire universe was waiting for this little soul to decide if she was going to abandon the opportunity of a lifetime or face the fear she had conjured in her mind. No one spoke or made a sound, just sat very still and quiet. Little Miss Norway finally said, "I guess I will stay because my mom would want me to, and I do love my big sister from Norway." I sighed with relief as slowly we all stood up and went to our waiting area for the telecast. No one at home or in the theater that night knew how close we came to switching around little Sister Miss Norway. We went through a practice session of the evening gown song with the 10th semifinalist Little Sisters as the telecast started live in the theater. Miss Norway was the last of the top 10 announced, and would be the last in sequence for all of the competition. That meant that during the evening gown competition of the telecast, little sister Miss Norway, the youngest member, by the way, of the group, would be on stage the longest. Her patience would be tested, as well as her memory of what she was trained to do, to sing, to present a rose to her big sister, to hold hands with her, to walk down stage and then curtsy and walk to her waiting position before coming together in a line with the other top 10 ladies. For those of you wishing to see a clip of this Miss Universe 1990 evening gown competition, follow the link below. When the final 6 were chosen, I knew that Miss Norway had a chance at winning. She only had to beat out Miss USA, who was favored throughout the evening. When it came down to the last 2, it was Miss Norway and Miss USA. And Mona Groot from Norway won. And her little sister was taken to her after the credits rolled and we were off the air, to have her picture taken with Miss Universe. Imagine if this little girl had not had the courage to go on, she would have missed a lifetime opportunity. We later found out that her mother indeed was going in for an operation, but alas, only a minor one. Her mother had seen the telecast and was very proud of her daughter. We never know how each event in our lives prepares us for the next event, and how interwoven we all are, and how important it is to make the appropriate decisions in our lives, to see the beauty in others, and to also have the beauty of courage and honor and faith. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. Feel free to comment. And please subscribe to receive email notifications of future episodes from In Search of Beauty and other books of interest. If you would like to read the entire book, message me for details or follow the link below from the publisher, Tate Publishing. Thank you for watching this episode, and see you at the next one. Also, check out our other worlds: the world of art, the world of faith, the world of family, the world of food, the world of games, and the world of music. Go and be inspired.